This was our pirate computer case at the end of the last video. We have mounted the computer within the case using a custom 3D printed bracket to attach our maker beam struts to the wooden baseboard. The task we're going to look at today is how to fit the screen into the top half of the case. And this is the screen we covered in one of our previous videos. This high definition screen has 4 VESA mounting points on the back of the board. These mounting points are going to be the main point of contact between the monitor and the backboard. The mounting points themselves are larger than the M3 bolts which I normally use for maker beam. So, in order to make this connection, I have sourced these small standoffs. These are M3 at one side, and on the other side it's a gauge to fit the back of our monitor. So we'll just screw these into place. And our monitor is now going to fit into the case here. And from here we will run the USB cable and the HDMI cable down to the Odroid itself. However, our task is first to find a mechanism by which we can actually mount this to the backboard. So as we have done before, we're going to use maker beam struts, namely these. These struts are large enough to fit on our standoffs to allow connection between the case and the maker beam. So I've connected 2 small brackets to the maker beam struts. These are going to fit onto here. So with 2 of these in place, we now have to fit this to the backboard itself. So I'm again going to be using some more 3D printed brackets. These are identical to the ones used in the last video. These will connect on one side to maker beam in the larger hole, and the smaller hole will accommodate a wood screw to screw it to the backboard. However, there is not an easy way to connect these to the maker beam and then screw them to the backboard. Additionally, I want the screen to angle out from the backboard to allow the on or off button to be pressed and to give access to the other menu adjustment buttons. So I want it to be fitted here, and the hinge will allow it to be leant forward to allow access to the buttons and to improve viewing angles. So what we're going to use for maker beam are these. These are maker beam hinges. These come in 2 parts. These connect to the maker beam on one side, and they are both connected together to form the hinge in the middle. So we're going to prepare our bracket like this, with the maker beam hinge in the centre, our 3D printed brackets to connect to the backplate. So with this connected to the monitor, this hinge can then be used to angle the monitor back and forward. Like so. So this can be then mounted to the backboard, allowing the hinge to angle it back and forward. So I will need to disconnect this from the monitor so I can attach this to the backboard. But first we'll make up the second hinge unit. And there is our monitor fully set up with its brackets. So in of itself, this could make a quite easily usable stand for the monitor. However, we're going to use this to connect to the back of our unit, like so. Now we have the task of attaching this mechanism to the back of the wooden lid. So in order to do that, we need to give enough space so that it can be easily angled down. So we need to mark where this needs to go. So in order to see where this needs to be mounted, I'm going to use a Sharpie pen to mark on the backboard where we need to actually fit these. And then we will detach the brackets from the back of the monitor, screw them in, and then fit them back onto the monitor once the assembly has been mounted to the backboard. And we will put the monitor aside, and we will source our wood screws. And these can now be screwed into the back of the board. We just have to line these up. And there we have both of the brackets now securely in place. Now all we have to do is to connect the monitor to the brackets themselves. Right, now all we have to do is to do the top connections. And there we have our screen now in place. The screen tilts forward enough to allow you to reach the buttons on the back, and then can be tilted back when you wish to view the screen. So now that we have completed the screen, the next stage will be to look at the cooling, the fans at the back and the front of the Odroid itself. However, that's for the next video. That's it for today. Thank you for watching.